does it feel a little bit different to last year's derby being in Perth? Does it feel a bit more real?
I wouldn't say it feels a bit more real. All games are pretty real, so no matter when you're playing them or where you're playing them. But it's obviously great to be having the derby back here at the SCG again. Hopefully get another big crowd and plenty of fans come along to what's going to be a big game and a good game. So looking forward to being back out here at the SCG again.
What's going to be the key? They looked a bit more up and about against Cunningham.
Yeah, they played some good footy the last couple of weeks, even against Melbourne. They were in the fight there for a long time, and they obviously had some injuries there towards the end of the game, which sort of hurt them a little bit, hurt their run a little bit. But the key to footy is to win the footy as quick as possible. So they've really ramped up their contested footy this year, and they've, I think, openly said that throughout the year and throughout the pre-season. So if we can continue to be hard around the contest and put some pressure on the footy and then give our forwards a chance, I reckon it'll go a long way.
It's been a while since you were part of the Giants Academy. Is that still a bit of an extra motivator or excitement for you?
Nah, not when that was probably 11 years ago now. I've been around for a long time. So, yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, being involved in that. But I got some great experiences out of that, and the big one being able to meet Paul Kelly and train with him throughout that period of time. So I wouldn't say it's extra motivation, but it's good to be able to reflect on those times and, now being into my 10th year. So some great experiences, but a while ago now.
And you had a pretty good run with injury up until this week with Isaac and Dane now out. So have they been at the club doing any running and training yet?
No, they sort of haven't at this. They've been in and around the club watching training and that, so I'm actually not too sure how long they'll spend on the sidelines, but obviously disappointing that they went down last week, but what that does, it provides an opportunity for someone else to come in and play a role. So whoever that is, we'll have to wait and see, but looking forward to those blokes taking that opportunity and going forward.
And what about for the defensive group that you're part of with Dane going down? What does that mean? Any changes in the way you play or anything like that?
I just think everyone will sort of had to take the opportunity to step up just that little bit. You can't replace Dane. He's such a great player and a great leader, especially for us down back, and he really sets us up and gets to work down there. So, we can't just rely on one person, so everyone will sort of have to lift their standards just a little bit to help fill that void a bit. But, full confidence in the back line and the playing group to get it done.
What are your memories of those first couple of derbies, back in 2012?
Yeah, well, I played my first game was in the first 2012 derby, so I come on as a sub. Unfortunately, not until late in the game, or fortunately, but I do remember Parksy broke his jaw in the first quarter and still wouldn't come off with it and give me a game. But we've always had great, games against them, and that first one was a great memory for myself, being able to play my first game. But I think it's been able to build over that 10-year period, and we've played some really good footy over the years. So I'm sure Saturday will be just that.
I think it wasn't until the third year when they finally got one over you guys. Was there a sense early on that these guys are eventually going to turn up and be a pretty handy team? We've got to cash in while we can in those early years?
I wouldn't say we'd cash in, but they're always going to build, especially if you start a team starting from where they did, similar to what the Gold Coast did. So they're always going to build, and especially after experience and some knowledge, because they were a lot of young guys. I reckon they would have had 11 debutants that game as well. So I wouldn't say we wanted to cash in, but you always wanted to rock up and play good footy and get the win. So I don't think that changes. I don't think it has changed in 160 plus years of whatever footy's been going for. So hopefully we can have a good battle tomorrow.
Any other sort of memorable derbies that stand out in those sort of 20 that, apart from the debut, obviously?
It's hard to say. The debut one does really stand out as one of the good ones, just for myself. The one we played at Spotless, where Big Bud kicked a couple in the last quarter, a couple of good ones from the boundary there. That was a pretty memorable one. But they've to be fair, they've been a fair few. So I'm sure Saturday will be the same.
The trajectory that both teams are on has changed quite quickly over the past year or so. Does it suddenly feel like you're the hunted rather than the hunter?
I'm not too sure about that. Obviously, I don't know about the trajectory, but we're both trying to play good footy week in, week out. So, like I said before, they've come off a good couple of weeks and playing a good brand of footy, and we're just looking to take it one week at a time and improve every week, because you've got to be able to do that in these days in footy. You can't rock up thinking you'll get a win, and then the competition's too even these days. So, like I said, we'll be looking forward to tomorrow night and hopefully getting stuck in.
Do you remember that bump that cleaned up Luke in that first derby?
Yeah, I reckon it was James McDonald, wasn't it? Yeah, cleaned him up off the back. But Yeah, it's funny things that stick out to you over your time, but yeah, I do remember that, and that just shows how tough Luke is. I think he played 3 quarters with a broken jaw.
Yeah. So one of the first kind of real, I suppose, like, had been talked about so much, but that act like
I don't know. I was probably a bit young and naive to sort of buy into too much of the rivalry too early. Like, especially when it's your first game, you just sort of want to get out there, have a run around, and make a bit of an impact and get a kick. So I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, Parksy might have a different answer. But in saying that, he was pretty young at the time as well. So I wouldn't say that sparked anything.
And just with the academy days, do you ever wonder what if it went the other way, if Sheets picked you up?
Nah. I think if you get caught up in that you can go down the wrong path a little bit. But mate, I was pretty happy to get the opportunity to train with, like I said, Paul Kelly before, and then things happen for a reason, I guess. And at that age, when you're in year 12 and you just want to play footy and enjoy playing footy, and that's something I sort of try to do these days, especially with a lot of the younger guys we got, is enjoy what you're doing, especially day in, day out, because we're pretty lucky to be where we are today. So you get some great lessons out of it, but I don't really look back and say what if or not.
And you mentioned the defence having to step up as a whole earlier. Is that particularly true with Toby Green? Is it, do you think a few boys will line up?
Yeah, look, I think it's obviously Toby's been in great form to start the season. He's a quality player, but it's going to take a team effort. It's not really going to be one person. So we sort of look at it as a backline unit as well as a team sort of defence as well. So obviously a great player, and we're going to have to do a lot to nullify him, but that's more of a team aspect more than an individual.
And he's become a bit of an SCG specialist, but are you expecting Buddy to come back for his second consecutive game?
Yeah, hopefully so. He's trained throughout the week, so I'm sure he'll put his hand up. He's a competitive beast and loves to play footy, so I reckon he'll put his hand up and hopefully get the best out of him tomorrow. Arvo.
And he showed what he can do at the end of the game against Essendon. How good was it to have him there, capable of pulling off something like that?
Oh, absolutely. He's one of the best to ever play the game. So you walk a little taller when he's in your side. So you're not surprised at some of the stuff he can do, because you can see how much work he puts in during the week and how hard he trains. So it was pretty special for him to do what he did. But once again, if he plays, we'll look forward to him playing his role and getting out there and having a run around.